Now we are going to start our session, APNIC Global Reports. So, good afternoon, everyone who are here in person, and good morning, good evening to anyone joining online or remotely. So, welcome to session, this APNIC Global Report session. So, my name is Bikram Shrestha. I am Cooperation SIG co-chair. Thank you all for joining this session. The purpose of this session is to update report of global activities. Again, I want to welcome everyone here. I would like to invite on dash speakers who are in person. Mr. Rajneesh Singh, Regional Vice President, Asia Pacific, Internet Society. And I would also like to invite Nicole Chang, Number Resource Organization, Number Council member. I would like to invite Carlos Matanizin from APNIC, Chief Operating Officer. From APNIC, James Chiranwa, Head of Member Service. From APNIC, Athena Frigakoria Lia, Chief Legal Officer. From ICANN for IANA Stakeholder Engagement, APAC, Lien Chan Tan. I would like to invite Sevinaka Vochia, Vice President, Chief Stakeholder Engagement, Oceania. And from APNIC, American Registry for Internet Numbers, John Sweeting, Chief Customer Officers. And from Remote Participation, Bridges Jain, co-chair outreach subcommittee. So I would like to invite first Rajneesh to his presentation, Internet Society updates.
It's easy. Good. Right. Good afternoon. I was trying to find my slides. It's obviously in front of me. It's great to be back in person at an event, isn't it? It's been 3 long years, and it's nice to come out of my cave and see there's still the world outside. Anyway, so I'm Raj, as most people call me, from the Internet Society. Thanks to APNIC and the APRICOT organizers for giving this opportunity. And again, obviously a well-organized conference once again. I'll just give you a very quick overview of what we're doing and focusing on in the Internet Society this year, with a focus on the Asia Pacific. So obviously the Internet Society does a whole lot of things, but I'll focus a little bit on what some of our areas of interest in the Asia Pacific are. In terms of how our work is organized, we had a 5-year plan which basically organized our work between making the internet stronger, growing the internet, and empowering people. That work continues. We still have a year and a bit left. We've done fairly well in some things. I think there's still work to be done in some other things. The strong portfolio is one of the ones that perhaps some of you are quite aware with. You've seen the Mandris booth outside, the routing security work, which we've been with the support of the community, supporting for quite a while now. Aside from that, encryption, in fact, tell you what, I won't go through all the slides. I'll just focus on a few things because I know we don't have that much time. I did ask for an hour. I got 10 minutes, so it's not very good. Encryption remains an issue in many countries in the region. We've had some countries in the region pass laws which have not been very friendly to how the internet works, and the open internet in particular. Unfortunately, some of those countries have also been traditional allies of the internet. So that's been quite a concerning development. So we're continuing to work with that. There's the Global Encryption Coalition as well, which we support, which does a lot of work in that. I mentioned Mandris, of course, routing security is a major concern for us, as I think for everyone in this room. And I think that's been growing well. I do hope we can get further participants from the Asia Pacific region in particular. I think we still lag the other regions in that. I'll talk about the one at the bottom. The one at the top is a conference that we've been supporting for a couple of decades now for security researchers. That's always held in the US though. So I'll just put that up there in case someone has an interest in security-based research and so on. So please look that up on the website. Fragmentation, of course, with the geopolitical developments we've had over the last year and a bit, but not just that, but even prior to that, we've had little things happening here and there in the region and outside, which has become problematic. You may recall calls to countries of the internet to create splinter nets and so on. I think it's important to realize that the world today is heavily interconnected. And cutting off a country from the internet, you don't know what the wider implications can be because today's systems are so very interconnected. So that remains to be a concern. Obviously, it's a policy concern, but we're also looking at it from the technical angle to see how the internet way of networking, how the internet model could be impacted by such policy and regulatory measures. We have also created an Internet Impact Assessment Toolkit, which looks at these policy and regulatory issues, but from a technical point of view and how it affects technical infrastructure. So if you haven't seen that, I'd invite you to have a look on our website. Based on that, we've done a couple of assessments in this region. One was the Cambodia's National Internet Gateway, which I believe is about to resurface again. There was India's search security guidelines. There was the Telecom Bill in India. There's the Korea sender base legislation as well that we did an impact assessment on. So if any of that is of interest, please go to the website and you'll find those documents there. The Grow portfolio is all about ensuring that people stay connected. We've done a lot of work over the last couple of decades in connecting people, but yet a large part of the world remains unconnected. Unfortunately, a large part of that unconnected people are right here in this region. So that work continues. At the end of the slides, I've got a couple of new grant programs I would like to tell you about, which include some of this work. Peering infrastructure, again, nothing much for me to say there. We all know what peering is and why we are involved in consent, so I won't touch on that. Technical communities, that's all our network operator groups like Apricot that we've been supporting over the years. We continue that work. And again, we now have a new grants program that perhaps you might find of interest to circulate amongst your peers and networks on that. Measuring the internet is something new we are doing in this region. We've been working in other regions on that, in particular looking at resilience, internet resilience. The other part of that work is monitoring things like how IPv6 is traveling, as well as things like internet shutdowns. Again, unfortunately, this region leads the world in internet shutdowns, and it's not really helped for anyone's case, really. It's not just the technical impact, it's the economic impact, it's the social impact, it's the business impact. Yet governments keep on going down that path. So I think it's quite important to raise our voices on those things. Empowering people. Over the years, we've done quite a few fellowship and capacity building programs. If you haven't seen some of that work of late, I'd invite you to again look at the website. We've got the early career fellowship, the mid-career fellowship. It's quite an involved process. It's a merit-based application system, but it really takes, we think, creates a next generation of leaders, not just from the policy or technical side, but as well as the business side. And then, of course, recognizing internet champions. A lot of people over the years have done so much for the internet. Some of them are not with us anymore. And I think it's important to recognize the contributions they've made, so that work also continues through the Internet Society. I've talked about quite a few things, and there's a lot of things we do. Obviously, we can't do those things without support, be they resource support or financial support. So we continue to look at ways to ensure that we as an organization can sustain ourselves. Anyone who knows about revenue streams knows that if you have only one major revenue stream, the day that dries up or gets killed, you don't exist anymore. So a large part of our work is trying to diversify our revenue streams. And two ways that, if you're interested, you can help us in that. If you're not an organization member, I know some of you are, but if you're not, please consider joining. We've got a team here who'd be happy to talk to you about that. But beyond that, we've got those funding programs. I've mentioned quite a few already. Maybe you want to get involved in supporting some of that work, be it through your CSR programs or because you want to do good for the internet or whatever your cause may be. Please talk to us. We'd be really keen to take some extra support on so that we can do even more and create greater impact out there. I mentioned funding programs. I don't know how much time I have left, so I'll run through this very quickly. There's the Connecting the Unconnected program. This is what we used to call our community networks work. In fact, we pioneered this in the region in 2009, 2010. It's then become a global program. And of course, there's a whole lot of other organizations who are doing this advocacy and work, including our friends at APNIC or the APNIC Foundation. So we've formalized the grant program. It was a bit ad hoc in the past, but now there's a proper program. There's an online application form, criteria, et cetera, et cetera. You can see the sort of numbers we are able to offer, either if it's a new deployment or leveling up an older deployment. The second program we've just launched is Sustainable Technical Communities. So again, this is our support of network operator groups in the region. Again, we've formalized the process. We've set certain funding levels, so it's all clear-cut, it's transparent to the wider community. That is up and live now. And again, some of the criteria is on that slide, but please go to the website for a bit more information if you so need it. There's a whole bunch of other funding available. Now, all of these funding programs now sit within the ISOC Foundation, just to make things a bit more streamlined and a bit, so that we can manage things better. Beyond those two or three I announced, there's also going to be one coming up for IXP support. But beyond that, there's these 5 or 6 other ones that we do. There's research, there's development-related issues, there's resiliency grants, and so on and so forth. So if you or someone you know could benefit from some of that funding, please pass those along. And finally, without your support and the wider community support, we can't do the things that we do. So please talk to us, stay in touch, keep in touch, and hopefully we can continue to ensure that the internet really is for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajnish. Very insightful presentation. Our internet, our future, protecting the internet for today and tomorrow, and highlighting other aspects also. So I will go for next speakers. Nuclear Cheng, Number Resource Organization, member counseling member.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nicole Chen. It's great pleasure to be here. Right now, I'm going to use a few minutes to update the NRO-NC to all of you. Okay. 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 So I think as you may have already known that the NRO number council, NRO-NC, is an elected body of 15 volunteers. As stated in the ICANN ASO MOU, the NRO-NC serve as the ASO address council, ASO-AC. ASO-AC NRO-NC members okay, each RIR community selects 2 people to serve on the ASO-AC NRO-NC. Each RIR's executive board also appoints 1 person from its region to serve. So you can check from the chart on the slide. And the ASO-AC NRO-NC's responsibilities include undertaking a role in the global policy development process, GPDP, and ensuring that policy has been followed. Second, defining procedures for the selection of individuals to serve on other ICANN bodies, in particular on the ICANN board. Third, selecting individuals to serve on ICANN's board in CITES-9 and CITES-10. And fourth, providing advice to the ICANN board on internet number resource allocation policy in conjunction with the ASO&R ASO and NRO. So ASO AC usually meet monthly. So we have a monthly telephonic conference, which is also open to the observers from IRs and ICANN, and also has face-to-face meeting annually, but couldn't make it during the COVID. Currently, ASO AC members and their terms are shown on the slide. You can check on the slide. So from APNIC right now, the members of ASOAC are myself, Nicole, and Dima, and Gaurav. We are all in the room. Yeah. And you can check right now, Hervé is the chair, come from REP NCC, and another vice chair is Ricardo from LANIC. So during the past years, okay, then. Right now, going to speak about the global policy development. Okay, the ASO, AC, NRO, NC member follow their RIR's policy forum from any proposed global policy. So this year, 2023 policy proposal facilitator team was formed, including Dima from APNIC. Transparency. As I mentioned above that the ASOAC has annual face-to-face meeting open to the observers. So this year we are going to have face-to-face meeting in Cancun during the ICANN 76 meeting. Then new AC discussion mailing archive has open public records, so you can also check from the website. And ASOAC monthly teleconference open to the observers, normally first Wednesday of the month at 12 o'clock UTC. So you can check all the meeting calendar from our website as well. Current appointments, as I mentioned, that the ASOAC's most important responsibility is to select the number 9 and the number 6 of ICANN board. So right now, in the past 2 years, we have completed the C9 ICANN board. Right now is Alan Barrett from APNIC region, and number 10 seats ICANN board is Christian Kaufman from RIPE NCC region. And there's NOMCOM. I think the term is ended just during this period. So we are going to have another process right now. Recent activities. Operational procedures review. I think in the past 2 years, after the ICANN board appointed process in the last 2 years, the AC felt that we need to review and update the operational procedures. So right now, the AC has formed a working group for this tax in late 2022. So we are going to review all the procedures about the selection of operational procedures, discussions, more ASO involvement in ICANN activities. I think it has been raised by some members that AC could participate more actively in certain ICANN community efforts. For example, the ICANN Fellowship Selection Committee and other issues. So right now, discussion focus on the common practice and the scope of ASO's involvement in ICANN. So that is our recent activities. So all our update to you about the NRO-NC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicolas Chen, for NRO NC update. Now we go for the video from Carlos Martinez. We have a video record from LACNIC.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Martinez. I'm LACNIC's Chief Technical Officer. I will be sharing with you a few notes about what we have been working on at LACNIC during the past year and a brief look at what 2023 may bring. Sadly, I have not been able to be there in person with you in Manila, but I still want to say hi and share a few things from Montevideo literally on the other side of planet Earth. Our agenda for today will include some comments on IPv6 deployment growth in the region, some comments on RPKI usage growth, including some of our plans for our RPKI core systems and the fourth RPKI validator. An update on our policy development process, including 2 policies that recently reached consensus and are in the process of being implemented. Also, finally, a few comments on our past and upcoming Lightning. First things first, a quick update on IPv6 deployment in Latin America and the Caribbean. We see that IPv6 growth is happening all across the region, although with noticeable asymmetries among countries. Several of our countries are close or above 30% IPv6 capable users. Uruguay is at 60%, Mexico at 49%, Brazil at 46%, and Guatemala, which is a success story in Central America, is now at 38%. Both Brazil and Mexico are, of course, huge markets and are both driving up the uptake of IPv6 in the region. Growth in the Caribbean, which was slow for many years, seems to be picking up as well. A big thanks needs to go to the APNIC team who makes this data available for all of us so we can illustrate how IPv6 is definitely happening. Now, moving into RPKI, we see also consistent growth in the object creation throughout our hosted system. VRP counts keep growing around 50% on a yearly basis, and we'll definitely continue to invest significant work and resources into 2 RPKI-related projects. The RPKI core, which will be our unified backend that will power our repository for the years to come. The fourth validator, which is part of the ecosystem of RPKI validation tools, will move forward in 2023, not only with bug fixes, but also with new versions, including new features, while maintaining our fourth core promise of a very light footprint. On the policy development front, 2022 was a very active year with several proposals. 2022/4 introduced several changes and improvements to the policy development chair election process. The policy itself is a welcome improvement, but the process which led to consensus in this particular matter was also remarkable, as it required a working group, a tool that had been rarely used in our region, to produce consensus between or among 2 competing proposals. 2020/10, authorizing recipients of subdelegated blocks to create ROAs is also a remarkable policy, as it showcases the PDP as a tool to solve real operational problems. In our region, a resource holder can suballocate a portion of its holdings to a customer, providing it complies with several policy requirements. Until this policy reached consensus, if the receiving organization wanted to create a ROA, it had to go through the parent resource holder, and it was almost never done. Now, moving on to past and upcoming meetings, Lightning 37 in Cali, Colombia was our return to meetings with full in-person participation. Back in May 2022, there were still many concerns regarding COVID. Travel was still a bit difficult. We expected a small event, but we got more than 500 in-person participants. Full remote participation was possible with over 700 remote participants registering. Lightning 38 in Santa Cruz, all the other way, felt a lot more like an old meeting. Travel was easing up across the world, and health restrictions had mostly disappeared for most countries in our region. Our next event will take place in Mérida, Yucatan, in Mexico from May the 8th to May the 12th, 2023. Registration for in-person and remote participation is now open. Come join us if you can. It's a bit complicated given the time zone difference, but you're all welcome. Thank you very much for listening to this brief update, and do not hesitate to contact me at carlos@lacnic.net if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, and we'll go for the next speaker. Next speaker will be from APNIC,
Glad
James
to be joining you all
Tirua
today.
from APNIC, Head of
55
Member
and
Service.
Article 20.
Can you have a next
Good day. Glad to be joining you all today at APNIC 55 and Apricot 2023. My name is James Chirwa, Head of Member Services at APNIC, and I'll be giving you an update on APNIC report. APNIC currently serving 55 economies in our service region. With these 55 economies, as at end of 2022, we had a member base of 2,116 resource members. This symbolized a growth of 6.4% compared to what we had at end of 2021. These members were able to also get resources from APNIC over the year. With IPv4, we were able to give out 249,000 unique IPv4 addresses, slightly close to a /14. This brought the total of issued resources to 115,444,000. This figure is slightly above 95% of APNIC's entire pool of IPv4 resources. Furthermore, we also issued out 135 prefixes NSIs in IPv6. However, estimating this to a /32, we got 387 /32 prefixes that were issued. This represents the biggest rise that we have achieved in the past 7 years, almost over double what we achieved last year. This brought the total of our issuances when we estimate at /32 to 10,155. Additionally, we also issued out 221 autonomous system numbers, bringing the total to 2,236 that we've issued over the years. Furthermore, with the IPv4 address exhaustion, APNIC currently is in the phase 2 of soft landing policy, where the maximum we can issue is a /22 at one instance. However, the member is able to come and get additional resources when they have been able to reach 90% usage of their allocated or assigned resources. In our available pool, we currently have just under 1.4 million IPv4 addresses. Now I'll move on and talk about policy development. Currently, at the end of the year, 2022, we had one policy under discussion. This policy relates to having a mandatory attribute for abuse contact in our WHOIS database. We also have 3 policies that reached consensus and are awaiting board ratification. These policies, one is also a predecessor to the one that is under discussion for abuse contact. So there's just an update to the one that is under that reached consensus and awaiting ratification. Secondly, is the inter-area transfer, resource transfer. This involves transferring of resources between APNIC and other regions. The third one is the one for compliance dashboard. So compliance dashboard is on compliance with policy as well as the contractual compliances. Furthermore, we also have one policy that was ratified and is undergoing implementation at the moment. This relates to the AS0 ROAs for all unallocated and unassigned space in APNIC region. Within the year, we also had one policy that was withdrawn by authors, citing conflicting text in the proposal. Our policy development working group is made of roughly 1,000 subscribers on our mailing list. Furthermore, I'll move on and talk about capacity building. In capacity building, we had a number of initiatives that we ran through the year, and one of which were webinar sessions. We conducted 2 webinar sessions with which had about 96 participants. We also undertook deployathon sessions with members, and within that session, those sessions, 55 organizations were able to attend 95 deployment milestones. These milestones cuts across deployment of IPv6 or IPv6 readiness, adoption of RPKI ROAs, and adoption of internet routing registry. Furthermore, we also conducted help desk support in IPv6 deployment. So we supported 59 organizations through our IPv6 help desk. In addition, we also have APNIC Academy, where we were able to subscribe over 3,000 enrollments. Our e-learning courses are run in 3 different languages, that is English, French, and Arabic. Beyond capacity building, we also engage with our members, community, and other stakeholders through different initiatives. We had member outreaches, including our African Internet Summit in 2022, which was online and on-site, hybrid. We had over 100 members or participants. Furthermore, we also had our meetings with members in different economies, 16 at least economies, meeting over 200 members. In addition, we also conducted an online event with our members called APNIC Member Connect towards the end of the year of 2022, where we were able to connect with 200 plus members. In addition, we also had further stakeholder engagements beyond our members and the community. We participated in internet governance forums, 38 within the region. We also had 6 government collaborations geared towards building capacity for IPv6 deployment. We also had 3 MOUs signed for IPv6 deployment and internet critical infrastructure enhancement in the region. Furthermore, we undertook 57 activities conducted under the APNIC Internet Development Program. That's all I had for you. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, James Chira. From APNIC, APNIC is more of a focus on capacity building in different 3 languages. So we have got update from the APNIC. So next, we have next speakers in person. She's going to present on RIPE NCC update. So may I request Athenia for her presentation.
Hello, everyone. I can see my slides. So my name is Athena Fragulli. I'm the Chief Legal Officer of the RIPE NCC, and I'm going to give you the RIPE NCC update. Our plans for this year are documented in our activity plan and budget 2023, and they align with our 5-year strategy, which is published in December 2021, so more than a year ago. For 2023, our priorities are 5. Number 1, to be resilient in the face of political, legislative, and regulatory changes that may affect our operations. Number 2, secure internet number resources. How? By developing and operating a resilient, externally auditable, and secure resource certification trust anchor, and by promoting RPKI's usage. 3, be the center of excellence for data, measurements, and tools. Through these tools, we want to provide an insight on the internet and its operations. Number 4, we want to maintain necessary levels of security, and we want to be compliant with best practices and applicable regulations. And number 4, we want to have a healthy organizational culture with engaged staff that is aligned with the organizational values. I'm going to give you some updates on from the registry front. We don't have IPv4 addresses anymore. We have a very long waiting list, which is growing and growing. We have more than 1,200 LIRs in the queue. We have more information on the first link I provide here. And my colleague Jeremy, who is the member service manager, has more information about it if you want to ask him. At the same time, we're looking at ways to improve our internal controls efficiency and response times to our members' requests. Last year has been a very heavy year on our work. We had a lot of developments in the EU sanctions area, and we did a lot of extra work in order to comply with them. Our compliance efforts are published. We have every quarterly, we publish the sanctions transparency reports, which you can find on the second link of this slide. A policy update. We have currently 2 policy proposals. The one is about the minimum size of IPv4 temporary assignments, which is in discussion phase, and this discussion phase ends on the 10th of March. The second policy proposal is about reducing the IXP IPv4 assignments default size to /26. The discussion phase ended in February, and we're going to launch a new discussion phase once the updated draft is published. We also have other topics under discussion. Currently, we're reviewing our IPv4 policies. We had a first session to discuss that in February. You can see the minutes and recordings in this link here, and we will schedule additional sessions for discussion. And if you need more information about the policy front, my colleague Angela is also here, so you can talk to her. E-learning and certification. We have a service, RIPE NCC Certified Professionals, and we have a new exam in this service. It's about the PGP security. If you go through this exam successfully, you will get one badge looking exactly like that in this icon. Our RIPE NCC Academy has new content. We have 3 new e-learning courses, IPv6 fundamentals, PGP security, internet governance, and we have a micro-learning course with the title, Why RPKI? And speaking of RPKI, this is what we do for RPKI. We're focusing on continuing improving the resilience of the service, improving the user experience with new UI, and enhance compliance. How we do that is by undertaking an audit called ISAE 3000. And we're going to publish the findings of this audit. Also, we've launched a new service published in Parent to support the operators running their own certificate authority. RIPE Atlas. We are trying to build an even better network of Atlas probes. Right now, we have more than 11,900 probes spread across more than 5,500 AS numbers in 170 countries. And we have a new version 5 of hardware probes for the maintenance of our network. Also, we're improving our sponsorship model. We want to cover at least the top 5 AS numbers from all underrepresented regions. And we've improved our sponsorship packages. My colleague Leah is here, probably outside distributing probes and talking about the RIPE Atlas, so she's available if you have more questions. Internet country reports. These are reports we issue for countries in our service region. In 2022, we've issued 2 reports, one about Bulgaria, Moldova, and Romania, and one about the Nordic region. These reports are analyzing the internet landscape in each region. We talk about the market landscape, the address space, V6 deployment routing, domestic international connectivity, access to DNS, And here is the link where you can find more about that and the reports themselves. RIPE Labs. This is our blog. This is where we publish articles, ideas, and perspectives from the RIPE NCC staff and the wider community. Every month we have more than 18,000 readers. And we've launched a series of podcasts in 2022 with very interesting topics. We talk about the network operations, measurement statistics, internet governance, and others. And here is the link on the RIPE Labs. We are trying to support more languages than English in our service region. We launched a new translation wiki. The languages we're focusing right now are Turkish, Farsi, Spanish, Italian, Russian, and Arabic. Our first attempts are focusing on practical information for members. And of course, we also translate other materials such as the internet country reports in the language the country is about. Regional outreach. The past year, we focused more on regional outreach. We organized the Central Asia Peering and Interconnection Forum in Kazakhstan, RIPE NCC Days in Uzbekistan, and Internet Measurement Days in Serbia and Georgia. With regards to ENOC, the community decided to halt ENOC meetings, but we continue, of course, to host other events in this region. The community project funds. The RIPE NCC wants to support projects for the good of the internet. And for that purpose, we have a fund of 250,000 euros each year. And here you can see examples of the projects we have found already and the link with information about this. Finally, last year, we met again in physical location. So we had 2 successful RIPE meetings in physical location. And this gives me the opportunity actually to invite you to our next RIPE meeting in Rotterdam in May. Of course, it will be also online with remote participation, but we'll be very happy to see you there in person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Athena. It's a very wonderful presentation, NCC. So we'll go for the next IANA update from ICANN, Stakeholder Engagement Manager, Ian Chan Tan. Please.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Yan Chin. I'm from the ICANN stakeholder engagement team, but I'm delivering some updates on behalf of the IANA team because they're unable to travel here this time. So we're happy to share that in terms of SLA performance, IANA has consistently meeting its service level agreement in all areas. So numbers, naming, and protocol parameters. If you'd like more details, please go to iana.org/performance. And in terms of customer satisfaction for 2022, we've gathered data based on 2 major surveys. So we have the engagement survey that is sent annually to key stakeholders to respond to strategic questions on community engagement. So some of these key stakeholders include contact from each RIR. So those are some statements that we received and the scores that we received. The other main survey that we have is the satisfaction survey. These are sent to requesters of services following completion of a request. The overall satisfaction rate is at 91% with 34.4% response rate. Out of the 9% dissatisfied responses, we have been unable to identify a cohesive trend, but typically after following up with them on their request, we would satisfy the issue. And information security audits, IANA has had 12 consecutive years of exception-free audits. This information security audits conducted by a third-party auditing firm evaluate IANA's service organization controls, SOCs, against the trust services principles and criteria. So both the SOC2 and SOC3 audits demonstrate that IANA remains committed to ensuring the security and stability of the Internet's unique identifier system. So just a little bit more information on SOC2 and SO3 audits. So SOC2 audit looks into systems used by IANA for registry assignment and maintenance. The SOC2 audit for the period of 1st October 2021 to 30th September 2022 has been completed, and the report has been communicated to the NROEC last week, actually on 22nd February. And on SOC3 audit, this looks into the certification of the root zone KSK system and how IANA manages it. The last audit period was from 1st December 2021 to 30th November 2022. So far, we have not seen any exceptions, but the report will be publicly available sometime mid to late April this year. And on key signing ceremonies, last year, we've conducted 4 public key ceremonies protecting the trust anchor for the domain name system. Actually, during the pandemic, there were some emergency processes in place. So basically, there were minimal staff-only ceremonies conducted, and we only held one every 3 quarters back then during the pandemic. But now, post-pandemic, we've resumed standard operating procedures. So it's now back to once a quarter. And also, we've resumed in-person attendance from trusted roles, and recently with external witnesses joining as well. We're also looking into replacing trusted community representatives, so TCRs. Replacements, again, were paused during the pandemic, but many of the current TCRs have served since 2010. And they were unable to retire during the pandemic, but they are looking into retiring, which we do at a rate of about 1 TCR per ceremony to maintain the pool of knowledge. And I'll go a little bit deeper into TCRs. I'll call for TCRs in the next slide. Also, some maintenance were deferred during the pandemic, but in the last year, we've resumed some of this. So this includes resuming the standard HSM life cycles, and generated new card credentials to replace those in use since the first ceremony. And some other upcoming work, we will introduce a new software that manages the KSKs and generates the signatures that are included in the root zone. This will bring improvements to the process and provides a platform for future requirements, such as changing the algorithm used to sign the root zone. Also, I can announce the design team to produce a plan for changing the algorithm used to sign the root zone. So unlike the 2018 KSK rollover, the algorithm rollover has different requirements and risk, and this may result in a different rollover operational plan. So this algorithm rollover will not happen in the near term, but following the draft plan, we anticipate several years for implementation, operationalization, and also most importantly, communications on this topic. So the design team's draft plan will go to public comment after it's drafted. So follow ICANN for more on this announcements. And in the shorter term, IANA will begin the process to roll over for the current KSK. This is a multi-year process starting with the generation of the key before it will be published and ready as a standby key for approximately 2 years to provide time for the internet community to prepare for the rollover. Again, we will have announcements on this, so watch out at the ICANN space for more information. So trusted community representatives, I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the slide. So we are calling for TCRs, typically known as the internet key holders. So volunteers will oversee how ICANN and IANA keep the cryptographic keys to the internet safe. They are expected to be trusted by the community, report back to their communities on the signing ceremonies, as well as provide suggestions on improving operations. One of our objectives is to have TCRs from a variety of geographies. So in the Asia Pacific region, currently, we are quite underrepresented. So we have a keen interest in really increasing the participation representatives from this region. So volunteers, interested parties in this room, or if you know someone that would be interested, I would strongly encourage you to submit a statement of interest at iana.org/TCR. And finally, some other additional ongoing and upcoming work that may be of interest to this community. On RDAP server, IANA is developing its RDAP server, which will provide information for top-level domains, .int, .rpa, reverse zones, as well as IP address allocations and reservations. IANA is targeting a soft launch sometime mid-year this year, before it's published to the public. And on reporting agreements, so new service level agreement between RIRs and IANA will require we report on new metrics. So some example would be the duration between an update to the reverse zone and its publication on DNS distribution service. And this will add more transparency in operations between RIRs and IANA. And in terms of the algorithm rollover study and next key rollover, I mentioned some details in the earlier slide. And also the final one would be on IANA's operational plan. We will start engagement on the operational plan sometime June this year. And if you're interested to have a look at more on the IANA operational plan, please go to the ICANN website as well. And with that, I end my presentation. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to send it to iana@iana.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Yanchen. We'll have a Q&A session at the end if we have time. So I will go for the next speakers. Sivanaka Voshia. So he is Vice President for stakeholder engagement. ICANN, Oceania, please.
Hello all. So you've heard a few, a couple of presentations related to ICANN, but this presentation really is to just highlight a few of the activities that we do in the region. ICANN 75 was held in Kuala Lumpur in September last year. We had a lot of participants from the Asia Pacific region. So at those meetings, we try to capture and invite as many of people that are there to take a photo. And we have a platform called APNIC Space, where we invite participants to participate in that and just exchange, share information around what's happening in ICANN that's related to the region. We would really like to invite any of you that interested to subscribe to the APNIC Space. I know there's a lot of community discussions in there that will be interesting to you. Another one is the universal acceptance that I want to highlight here. It's a technical requirement to allow or ensure that top-level domains and email addresses that has evolved. It's not only in the IDN space that they can work on platforms, on applications, on servers, and also internet systems. So we have announced that the UA Day will be on the 28th of March this year. The events will be held all over the world and mainly to raise awareness of the universal acceptance. So the main global event will be held in New Delhi, India. There has been applications from around the world to participate in this day. So if you are interested, look out for some of those participants that will be participating in your region, in your locations. I wanted to also raise the fact that we are also have introduced this APAC DNS forum. The first APAC DNS forum was held last year, and this year it'll be held in Hong Kong from the 4th to the 5th of July in collaboration with the Hong Kong Internet Registration Corporation Limited. Some of the key topics will include digital outlook for APAC, cybersecurity, and the future of the DNS. And we expect that the next round of the GTLDs, the generic top-level domains, is expected to be a key topic, as the ICANN board will deliberate on this issue at the ICANN 76 Cancun meeting, which is going to be in a fortnight's time. So again, an open invitation to participants from the region to participate at this forum. And we will be announcing the registration details soon. Just on APAC collaborations, we have a few collaborations with technical communities in the region. So the 4th ICANN APAC TWNIC Engagement Forum will be held on the 23rd to 24th of May. We've also been involved in the Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy, PIGA. This is with KISA. And on the universal acceptance initiatives, we've got work with the THNIC, the Thai Network Information Center, and also the National Internet Exchange of India, which is NIXI. They're hosting the Global UA Day event. With the technical trainings, capacity development, we have some work that we do with the country code top-level domain registries. So mainly some of the requests do come to us on the DNSSEC training. So we've got trainings that are coming with the Lao National Internet Center, LANIC, also in Indonesia with Pandi, and in Vanuatu with the guys who run the .vu. That's my presentation, so thank you very much. I thought I'll give the floor back to you.
Thank you, Sivanika. So it's very brief and insightful presentation. So we'll go for the next. We have APNIC John Sweeting.
Okay, I'm John Sweeting. I'm the Chief Customer Officer from ARIN. I'd like to start off by thanking the APNIC staff for being such great hosts as they always are. And also I want to thank everybody in the room for still being here. So I'm going to do my best to get us out of here as quickly as I can. Quick picture of the ARIN service region, Canada, US, and break out there the Caribbean islands that we serve. The focus at ARIN, we manage, distribute, register the numbers according to community developed policies. That's the key. The community develops the policies, and they do it through the community driven policy development process. And along with that, we maintain an accurate directory services. ARIN membership, we had a change last year where we changed everyone at ARIN into service members. Before that, we had end users and ISPs were considered general members, and end users were end user customers. Now everyone that has IPv4, IPv6 under agreement with ARIN is considered a service member. And of the service members, anyone that wants to be a general member, the main commitment there being to participate in ARIN governance and the ARIN elections, they can apply to be a general member and they have a vote in our elections. Services update, two-factor authentication became mandatory 1 February this year. It's been pretty smooth and seamless. We were really worried about how it was going to work, but like I said, it's been, well, now we're into March, so it's been a month and we haven't had any issues at this point. We also have a premier support plan that we're now offering to all our customers. There is an annual fee, but there's a bunch of services that they get within that plan. They get dedicated account managers, prioritized ticket processing, and 24/7 on-call support. And they also are able to participate in a quarterly customer focus group with our CEO. Routing security update, major ones, the automatic re-roll of our PKI objects, which is rolling out this first half of this year. I believe it'll be deployed somewhere time in March. Second half, we have a new RPKI user interface that's going to provide a bunch of new services and features for our customers. And then also in the second half, we have we're automating the ticketing processes to reduce the RSD load. That means is today you request a certificate, it has to have an analyst actually approve that and issue the certificate. All that's going to be automatic. You apply for your certificate and it'll automatically be generated. At the request of our board, we are upping our IPv6 outreach campaign. It's always been there, but we're putting a new focus on it, a new light. The slogan that our comms team came up with was IPv6, let's grow. The only way you can grow is with IPv6. You can grow your customers, you can grow your revenue, you can grow your network. So let's grow. Member IPv6 holdings. As you can see there, we have 55% of our members do not have IPv6. 45% do, and of those 45% that do, 21% of them have IPv6 only. Doesn't really mean that they only have IPv6 because they could have their IPv4 from their upstream providers. Aaron has a wait list, an IPv4 wait list. We did pretty good for a year and a half and really exhausted the list every quarter. That's not happening anymore, and it won't happen in the future. Resources, the waitlist resources are really scarce. Today, it's only what we get back through revocation, and mostly that is for non-payment or return, but there's very few people returning space today, as everyone knows. So we're probably on pace to satisfy maybe 30 organizations each quarter, and we're up to about 630 people on the list, 630 organizations on the list. So at 30 a quarter, and it grows every quarter as well. So it's a long wait. 2022 inter-RIR transfers, as you can see, it's pretty balanced between APNIC and Aaron. 37 from Aaron to APNIC and 34 back from APNIC to Aaron. RIPE kind of doubles. They double the take into the RIPE region, but realize this is number of transfers, so it really isn't doesn't indicate the number of addresses. And LACNIC, they've had 12 where Aaron was the source and 5 where we were the recipient. Recently adopted policies. Our advisory council has been doing a lot of work trying to provide clarification to our policy and our number resource policy manual. So a lot of this is all clarifications to existing policies that were in the NERPM. One that stands out that's being implemented, I believe it's like March 3rd. And that's the ability for swaps, where somebody that wants to transfer out a 16, but they're using like a /22 of that, they can actually go out on the market, buy a 22, renumber, and then sell the entire 16. And they have a time frame that was developed by the community to allow for that. We're going to have our next meeting in Tampa, Florida, 16 and 19 April. You're all welcome to join us there. It should be sunny and nice weather. And that's it.
Thank you. IPv6, let's grow. So from APNIC, American Registry for Internet Numbers, we had John Sweden. Now, next speakers we have from remote, Brijesh Jain, nominating committee, ICANN, Brijesh Jain, co-chair, outreach subcommittee. Can we have Brijesh Jain?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Very
audible?
good.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I am going to my share screen. So I am very happy among the friends. Good afternoon, everybody. My apologies for not being able to attend in person. This is presentation on behalf of ICANN nominating committee outreach. As we know that application period is now open, which will close on March 23. So between now and this period, we are expected to go to the community. And on behalf of NOMCOM, I am moving over to US community. Now, most of you will already be familiar what is NOMCOM. But just to put the context, the nominating committee, NOMCOM, is an independent committee tasked with filling open leadership positions on the ICANN board, the Public Technical Identifiers Board, PTI board, at large advisory committee, ALAC, generic name supporting organization, GNSO Council, country code name supporting organization council, CCNSO. NOMCOM is designed to function independently from the board, the supporting organizations, and the advisory committees. NOMCOM delegates like me act in the interest of global internet community and within the scope of ICANN's mission and their duties. According to the ICANN bylaws, NOMCOM delegates do not act in the interest of the group that appointed them to NOMCOM. For example, I have been appointed by ASOAC, and I confirm that at no point in time ASOAC in any way put any influence on me for my work on contribution to NOMCOM. Now, ICANN is looking for leaders who represent a variety of cultural, geographical, professional backgrounds, while also striving for diversity balance. Here is what ICANN is looking for is critical thinking, cultural awareness, knowledge of internet ecosystem, board or executive experience, relevant experience in legal, finance, government, technology, business, or non-profit sector. We recognize that one person may not have all the skills, but you have to have at least good knowledge of some of these key functions. Now, the question comes up, why should you apply? You have an opportunity to contribute to and influence global internet policy. You could have a role in to impact the evolution of internet, enhance professional skills. You get the opportunity to collaborate with diverse group of industry leaders, and of course, you can engage with a very vibrant global community. This year, 2023 NOMCOM will select 2 members for ICANN Board of Directors. Just for your information, and you already know that in NOMCOM 2022, I'm happy to say that 2 persons from APNIC, as welcomed in Kuala Lumpur meeting, got selected from APNIC, Asia Pacific region of ICANN. This year, NOMCOM is to choose 2 members for the ICANN Board of Directors. I would just like to add here that NOMCOM does not make selections per se. NOMCOM does selection out of the persons who put in the application. So it is very important for those interested for leadership positions have to put in the application in the proper format. And the NOMCOM task is to screen the list and as per its process and to find out the best or most suitable persons, candidates for the position. So NOMCOM selects basically 8 ICANN Board of Directors. As you know, ICANN Board of Directors position is for 3 years. So every year, either 3 or 2 seats are chosen by NOMCOM. This year it is 2. 1 member for the PTI Board of Directors. 3 regional representatives to the at-large advisory committee. Now, and this year, these 3 regions are 1 from Africa region, 1 from this region, Asia, Australia, Pacific Island region, and 1 from Latin America and the Caribbean region. So these regions also are selected by rotation. So this year, Africa, Asia, Australia, Pacific, and Latin America and Caribbean are the ones to be chosen. 2 members of generic names supporting organization, GNSO Council, 1 representing the contracted party house, 1 representing the non-contracted party house, 1 member of country code name supporting organization, CCNSO Council. Please remember, as I said earlier, you can start your application anytime and you can keep contributing or adding to it, subtracting to it. Till you submit, your application will remain in the application stages unless you submit. But definitely you have to submit by 23rd March at 23:59 Universal UTC, and any application selected after this time may not be considered or will not be considered. And you're very happy to go to learn about more positions at ican.org, NOMCON 2023, and of course, NOMCON members. We have three members from this region is Pam Little, Vivek Goyal, and myself at this time in the NOMCOM from the region, and learn more about the positions. Please do take time to look at the positions, and those who consider themselves as this thing, please do definitely apply. Thank you very much, and I am open for any questions at this moment.
Thank you, Brijesh sir. So if there is any questions, any comments, suggestion, the floor is open. There is mic for all panels. If you have any questions.
Perfect job.
Okay, if there is no questions, so thank you very much for all panelists here, speakers from different organization, and thank you all presence here, participant, for your valuable time, and thank you technical team who had support us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I also thank you all. Bye.
in my screen. Check. Sweet. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Thanks for this opportunity and the time giving to me. Actually, I will introduce myself. I'm Arif. I'm from APG. I also the chairman of Indonesia Internet Service Provider Association. Actually, this is my second time to be at APNIC event, and Apricot, I think this is my first time actually, yeah, because in Singapore, yes, APNIC event. So actually, this topic already in the BOF in the APNIC 54 in Singapore, but I will try again the same topic because I believe I still this is have some spirit outside, and also I think the development of internet in Asian Pacific same with APNIC mission to develop I think better internet in the region of Asian Pacific. So I still want to introduce a little bit about APG. APG is the Internet Association in Indonesia. I think the only one association. So we also the NIR, and we already established since 1996, already 27 years this year. Our member actually right now 870 something ISP in Indonesia. A lot of the ISP number I think in the world. So okay, so the next is because I said before we have actually APG have the mission to develop penetration of internet in Indonesia. So same like I see in the APNIC website also have the mission to develop internet in Asian region. In Asia Pacific region. So what is actually APG do to develop the internet in Indonesia? Maybe I will have the quick what we did in Indonesia. So this one is actually every year APG also actually have the internet survey to gather the information how is the penetration rate internet in Indonesia. So every year last time in 2022 we have the survey, we already have like 77% the internet penetration in Indonesia, but I hope we still do the survey right now. Maybe we'll be finished in March. I will let you know. I think the internet user in Indonesia will be grow up in this year. So I hope we can do the survey same like I did in Indonesia to the Asian Pacific region. Second, ensuring efficient use and allocation IP resource. Of course, we also the NIR. The third, improve local internet connectivity, reduce network latency, and enable faster and more cost-effective internet connectivity through Indonesian IX. We already have the Indonesia Internet Exchange already 28 years right now. Already 22 years right now. Our internet exchange and the traffic actually around 3 terabyte. I think one of the big traffic exchange in Indonesia right now. And not only in one place, we try to distribute this exchange through the country. We already have like 15 region of the IX through the Indonesia. Hopefully, this IX have very helpful to the new ISP. The new one, the small ISP is very helpful with this IX because their new ISP can have more saving for international traffic because of this in Indonesia international that APG developed. For advocating and conducting a fair regulatory environment for the industry. Of course, as the association, we always provide some of lawyer to help our member to advocate if there are a problem with the regulation impact to the internet business in Indonesia. 5, supporting internet security initiative in Indonesia, including helping the National Cyber and Crypto Agency (BSSN). This is the government, actually this government institution. So we do the categorize of the ISP based on cybersecurity awareness and standardization. Actually, last year we already did the standardization for around 350 ISP in Indonesia. Why we do this? Because you know, the cybersecurity attack I think right now is so. We hope the ISP can have the standard about the cybersecurity in the future. 6, we ensure a competent, capable workforce for digital age. Abdi have the training every month. I think not a month, maybe a month is twice. We also do training and make a collaboration with many local private institutions focusing on the digital literacy in Indonesia. 7, advocating policy making for improve internet infrastructure and solve the digital divide. 8, faster innovation growth and development in the ICT industry through knowledge sharing and collaboration among member and stakeholder. We all right now, last year we already collaboration, I think, with 8 data center to develop our Indonesian Internet Exchange. 9, contributing the country economic and social progress. So this Internet Action Leader Forum concept a proposition. So the background is the Asia Pacific region is the hub for digital innovation and home to many of the world's largest internet-based business. Because like Indonesia, we have like 280 million people. So I think in the Southeast Asia, other countries also have the big population. So I think in the future, Southeast Asian Pacific region will be the big number of internet user in the world. However, no centralized platform bring together all the internet business leader in the region to collaborate, share knowledge, and drive growth. I think not such as there's association leader forum like this before. So what the purpose the Internet Association Leader Forum? We want to create internet business leadership network that can work together. The purpose of establishing ELF is to gather all the internet business leader in Asia Pacific will be to create a community like-minded individual who can work together to advance the region digital economy. The forum will serve as platform for networking, sharing, innovative and new idea, share experience and collaborating and on initiative that promote innovation and growth. So I hope when the forum is established, we can sharing success story in each country, so we can learn more from another country. So next, we have 3 focus area. 1, promoting collaboration and networking among internet business leader in the region. 2nd, sharing best practice and knowledge to advance the digital economy in Asia Pacific. The 3rd, advocating for policy that support the growth of digital economy in the region. So ELF have a vision actually to be leading platform for internet business leader in the Asian Pacific region, driving innovation, collaboration, and growth in the digital economy. Bringing together internet business leader in the region to work together to advance the digital economy and collaborate. Digital economy emphasizes the commitment to driving innovation and collaboration. By working toward this vision, the forum can significantly impact the digital economy in the Asian Pacific region and help to thrive in the ever-changing business landscape of the internet era. So I hope if this forum can be happen, we have several purpose activity in the future. There is 4 activity we can do in this special this forum. 1 is Business Leader Summit, to gathering top executive to discuss the latest trend, challenge, and opportunity in shaping the digital economy. And the next, Internet Collaboration Conference brings together internet business leaders and experts from the Asia Pacific region to share insight and ideas on how to build partnership and collaboration in the digital economy. And Advocacy Summit bring together industry leaders, policymakers, and experts to discuss the key issues, prioritize, and needed policy to support the growth of digital economy in the Asian Pacific region. And Innovation Summit showcase the latest innovation and emerging technologies in the Asia Pacific region and brings together technology leaders to explore opportunities for collaboration and growth. So the scope of discussion of the EILF is we have like 5 scope of discussion in here. One is investment and financing. Analyze the investment and financing landscape for internet business in the Asia Pacific region and sharing insight and funding strategies and the source. Sometimes in my country, there is a lot of ISP and mostly I think more than 50% is middle to low size of the company. Maybe there now have the good source of the funding. So if we can have this forum and we can mismatch which is the small ISP and the funding. So I think will be good in the future to develop the the internet in the rural area. Second, policy and regulatory issues, discussing the policy and regulatory environment for internet business in the region and exploring ways to promote a favorable business environment. Third, digital transformation and innovation, exploring the latest trend and strategies for driving digital information and innovation in the Asian Pacific region. Fourth, emerging technologies, examining the potential and emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, and discussing their implementation for business in the region. 5, difficult and challenge of internet development in Asia Pacific region. Of course, we can share what difficulty in Indonesia and the success story, and then we want to know in other countries. So the charter draft of EILF Leader Forum. Article 1. The name of the forum is Internet Association Leader Forum or EILF, hereafter referred as the forum. Article 2. The purpose of the forum is to bring together internet business leaders in the Asian Pacific region to drive innovation, collaboration, and growth in the digital economy. Article 3. Membership in the forum is open to internet business leader and executive from company based in the Asian Pacific region, subject to Executive Council or EC approve. Article 4. The forum is governed by a board of the chair, which is responsible for setting the strategic agenda of the organization. Article 5. The member of the board of chair are the chair, vice chair, secretary, and the treasurer. They are elected by member and serve for a term for 2 years. Article 6. Meeting the forum shall held at least an annual meeting of the membership, which may be held virtual or in person. Special meeting may be called by the board of chair as needed. Article 7. The board of the chair establish committee as needed to carry out the work of the forum. So the summary is to establish the forum together a business leader in Asia Pacific will provide a valuable platform for collaboration, networking, and knowledge sharing, and help to advance the region digital economy. I think that's all. If you have any question, this is my contact, my phone, can via WhatsApp or email me, or you can contact through APNIC website also. Thank you. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
Arif, thank you for the presentation. It is really a very good thought. But having been in this field for last 10, 12 years and working with different associations and forums, I think what you're trying to do is too much. The plate is too full and it is too big for things to handle. If you go back to your slide where you're trying to digitally transform innovation, then possibly the research as well. So it's a very broad mix of people, and possibly for big industries, it will not be possible to send 5 or 7 people in this forum. Okay. The speciality of APNIC is that people who manage the networks are there. So it's very clear to the organizations that they need to fund their network operations guys. Herein, when you are talking association leader, I'm not clear. Are you talking of CEOs, CTOs, CXOs? Who should be the member? Is it the network operation guys? And the second, internet association leader forum, digital economy. So these are a lot of conflicting things which has got very huge dimension. Possibly this needs a little more refinement in terms of what exactly are you trying to achieve. I'm saying that this is a very good idea, but possibly it needs much more specifics to move ahead. Otherwise, the fundamental of people joining in will be the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I hope actually not every country have the association like Indonesia, maybe, yeah. But my vision like to connect like me, the leader of the association. Maybe if there is association in their country, or if there is no association in their country, sometimes maybe in the country not so many ISP don't have like any association. So like the chair of the community can also the chair of the one of the operator in that country also can see actually. I hope like that the member of the forum, yeah. So if you think like maybe like it's too much, yeah, of course I think it's like a different perspective. I know maybe I saw in the many BOF before, even I saw in the last BOF, yeah, since I don't know what APNIC number, but mostly it's about technical. Mostly BOF is about technical. So I try to give another perspective. Maybe if we talk about development internet in the world, especially maybe in Asian Pacific region first. So that's our first idea to bring this BOF to this forum.
No, thank you. Thank you for all your efforts, but that was my point, that
Okay.
a little more specifics will be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm from the Pacific Islands Telecommunication Association, and we actually rely on the association as a source for many of the small islands for source of information, and actually platforms for all those things that you've outlined. I think there's a gap for leaders forum. At the moment, we see a lot of forums are happening on operational and technical, or even policy at the technical level. But leaders forum is serves quite niche purposes, where you can take a lot of things at the high level and deal with those topics that you mentioned 1 to 5. I agree with the other early speaker. You need to have a bit more refinement, maybe a bit more consultation. And as Pacific Island Telecommunication Association, we're very supportive to have a brother or a sister association like this that we can work together.
Sure.
Because although, you know, Pacific in Asia, we face a lot of difficulties because Asia will dominate the discussions, and normally there's very little space for Pacific. But having like an organization already in Pacific hopping into this or partnership with this bigger one, it can provide some effectiveness in dealing with separate and quite unique challenges and opportunities that people might have. Businesses in Asia might be different from business in the Pacific Islands, and likewise. But I really like those 5 topics. And leadership in these areas, there's kind of an existing gap that we probably need to have some forums where you bring leaders. Now, defining leaders, there's something to talk about, but it can be an engineer, but he's leading, so things like that. Yeah. So, yeah, this is like, when do you think this forum will start? Or when is your next, your series of consultation?
So, we hope we still have next meeting in Kyoto. So I hope before next meeting in Kyoto, informally we can talk by online or something. Actually, I agree. Maybe the topic is too large. We can make more focus on some point. I agree with you. Maybe the sharing session will be like first step we can do. After that, we can explore what actually we need, and we can make several point to make this more concrete.
Right.
So I already do the research. Maybe not like I said before. Not every region have the associations actually, but we can start with this. Already have the association, so we can focus on some point. I agree with that actually.
That's true, but don't rule out how you want to include the topics. For instance, our organization covers all the topics that is related with telecommunication, from leadership down to the bottom man, even HR and finance and things like this, because this is a platform where the different countries can come and meet. Within that platform, various groups can organize different topics, different needs, and then they set dates with a secretariat that is overlooking all those things. So I think the opportunity for those are quite important, and we'll be very happy to see how that goes further for us to come and discuss with you.
Thank you. After this, we can make a contact after that. Thank you. Is anyone else? Oh, Carla. Okay.
Sorry.
No.
So this is something that I think we've spoken about before, that it's really important to us at APNIC that we connect with the technical adjacent community. So we're very aware that APNIC is well known in the technical community, but the challenges need to be understood beyond just the technical community. So I think this is the heartbeat of where we're heading. And I just really wanted to say thank you, and that we would love to offer our support to assist in any way that we can to carry the message. And we do appreciate that this is something that we feel is important as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. Many thanks for your support. Oh.
Yeah, so this is just for information, and thank you for the opportunity for me to share. We are actually planning a internet group within the Pacific Islands.
Oh yeah.
Within the Pacific Islands, and that doesn't rule out if we are going to join with others. Many of the Pacific Islands got their own different, association with different bodies around the region, and so this actually stems out from a CEO forum. They're being concerned about cybersecurity. And so the secretary looked at it, and the way to advance that is start discussing a separate stream on internet topics like for cybersecurity. And from there, then we'll see how that will develop and what sort of shape and form will take place from there in advancing the concerns from the CEO. So what I'm saying here is that the different levels need to have some platforms. And within our group, we are fortunate that we can have CEO forum, we can have CTO forum, we can have CFO forum. So this is good. But like the other colleague, maybe just need a bit of more refinement, because otherwise it look too big and then you try to put everything into one. Thanks.
Thank you for your input. I agree with that. We must separate the topic, I think, so we can be more focused and concrete about this forum in the next, hopefully in the APNIC in Kyoto. Hopefully we can already gather some of the guy already concerned about this also. Thank you. Is anyone else? Oh, okay. Please.
So just a suggestion, how will you move forward on this one?
Okay. First, we already have several contact. Maybe I will get your contact after this also, please. And maybe Carla, please help me to find another contact. Maybe I will try to gather from email first or make a little group. We can do like online meeting first to to narrow what the topic we have. Maybe we short of like 3 topic first. So with 3 main topic, I think not so many topic. I know this is like too much topic. I put what in my mind in this in this presentation. Maybe we can discuss and put like three topic priorities, I think, something like that. So hopefully we can discuss and make a grouping after this next APNIC session. Hopefully like that.
I think combining the thoughts of yours and the gentleman, I think while technical community has found a place for itself, definitely CEOs forum makes much more sense, where they are the leaders of the organization. They need to see that what is happening in the technical world. So, and since it is supported by APNIC, we rarely have CEOs of different organizations coming in APNIC. Okay, so possibly that's the dimension we can take it forward into. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Sunny.
I was just going, sorry, Sunny from APNIC Secretariat. I was just going to clarify that question that Anupam asked, what is the next step of this? As per the SIG guidelines, you present the topic as a BOF for a couple of times, and you make a report to the AGM, to the APNIC EC, and put forward a request to form a SIG, or in this case, I think for this topic, maybe not a SIG, but a closed forum of CEOs and CTOs, as Carla mentioned, that APNIC would be happy to support. But so you'll be making a report tomorrow in the AGM, and you can summarize the discussions from this session to the APNIC EC, and probably provide your recommendations for the future course of action for this one. Yeah, thank you, Arif.
Thank you, Sunny. So thank you for your input. So okay, after it we will gather the information and we report to the EC maybe to ask for the support, of course, and then how the possibility to continue this forum to make it real, yeah, something like that. Okay, is there anyone else? I think that's enough. Yeah, please, I will share the contact after this, and thank you. Thank you for coming. Good evening.